and good morning to Myko Kids' third podcast. Today's topic is going to be about Mumpreneurs. And this morning I've got with me Faiz from Playtorium and Ashley from Baby Expo. I'm Maira, the co-founder of Active Mama Workout. So Faiz, can you give us a little introduction about your background in Playtorium?
So basically, Playtorium is a modern, unique concept of a playground. So it just came out when I had my son, and it was all about him being a first time mom. And being born and brought up in Dubai, I kind of very much knew about the culture and the mix of different backgrounds. So I remember when my son was just 16 to 18 months old, and we just came out of a complete lockdown, and the only job I thought I would ever do in my life was take him to different play areas, tire him out, and put him to sleep.
And go to sleep as we do.
I thought I'll be doing this all my life, and that's it. Maybe because being the first time mom, I thought this is it. That's it, Faye. That's all you're going to be doing all your life. And you guys won't believe Playtorium actually it was born when I was watching Blippi on TV, and Blippi was doing something in US, and I was like, wow, Blippi's having so much fun. I wish I was energetic like Blippi, going to play areas.
And having the time of his life,
exactly,
right?
because I would come back with backaches, with bad moods, and with no coffee in any play area I would go to. And I was like, why is he so happy in play areas and I am not? And then I was like, why not come up with something that is not in each and every play area that I visit to? So it's actually a very fantastic story. I went to almost all play areas in Dubai, and I randomly posted on Mom's group on Facebook asking, what is that one thing that would keep you guys coming back to a play area? They said good sunlight. They said a separate toddler area, good cafe, healthy
Good coffee.
food.
Good coffee for sure.
That was the main point. Opens at early morning and spacious, clean, and Playtorium is built on just these fundamentals. That's
Great
it.
from the feedback of all these moms, which is amazing, reaching out to the community.
And then there was one mom who was like, are you coming up with your own play area by any chance? And that time I had nothing. And getting a play area or getting a unit in with Imar especially, it's actually kind of tricky because they do a proper background check. Like, what do you do? What have you been doing? And I come from a very strong sales background. Like, I used to work in International Cricket Council, and then before that I used to work for TNT, and all involve sales. So coming from a strong sales background, I was able to sell a good pitch to them.
And you got it, because you got a great location and the venue is amazing there. Yeah.
And then when now people ask me, Faye, did you ever believe that the Playtorium would be such a hit? Like, it would be okay, but such a big hit? I said that is one thing I always knew, because just a one factor, community.
Totally agree with that. Yes.
So convenient for people around us that, it was, and then it became a super hit. And then I became a happy mom. And my son is happy and bored now because he's done with Playtorium.
Now you're the female version of Blippi.
You can't say that, exactly. I'm there.
You tick the boxes. Yes.
On Halloween, and I'm there wearing elf costume on Christmas.
Yes.
So I'm
The things we do.
now. Yeah, it's been a great journey, I must say. It's with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, I must say. But then, yeah, leaving your small baby who's not even 2 at home, and then going for deliveries, going for receiving orders, it has been a great journey. But it has been tough too.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest parts.
Yeah. But then it all pays off, right? With hard work.
That's it. Yes.
You can see the rewards.
Yeah, and I'm sure you also must be knowing how setting up an event or setting up Baby Expo must be, how it is, how much effort goes in, gathering everyone around, right?
Yeah, exactly. And still managing your children at home, and then when it comes to the weekend, trying to think of things to do, how to keep them entertained when you're maybe tired from your working week, but you're like, okay, now we're on full-on mum mode.
Yeah.
Let's see what we're going to do this weekend.
You come back home and your children are there.
Waiting for you, like
Waiting
literally at the door, like, okay, what are we doing today, mommy? And you're like,
Yeah.
just literally want to sit on that couch and do absolutely nothing, right?
Just have 5 minutes to chill. There's no such thing as 5 minutes to chill.
So Ashley, tell us a little bit about your background and about yourself.
So yeah, one of the co-founders of the Baby Expo Dubai. So yeah, Baby Expo is launching in Dubai next year.
Exciting.
Yeah,
I'm super
really
excited for that.
The idea came from there's lots of events similar taking place around the world, and there's so many amazing small mum events here which are amazing, but there's not kind of one big event that brings everyone together, all the brands together, for discounts, special offers, education. So yeah, it's just kind of creating that one-stop shop for mums, expecting mums to go to get everything that they need, but also to meet other mums as well and meet experts who can help them through their parenthood journey, as we've just been speaking about.
Yes.
There's so many ups and downs, so
That's
many
so important.
challenges. And especially being a first-time mum is where to seek that advice from if your baby's not sleeping, or yeah, you're struggling with feeding, or there's so many different.
There's so many different phases
Yeah.
I find with motherhood, and now with my two girls, I understand there's just so many different phases, and each phase
It's
you
so
feel like you need help with,
Yeah.
you know, from breastfeeding to to weaning to sleeping
absolutely.
to toilet
You
training.
feel like you've got one stage mastered, and then they move to another phase of.
Till
I
another
remember,
thing. That's what I'm feeling.
with my
Correct.
little girl, like feed. She had a real struggle with intolerances when she was born, so trying to manage that, and then we conquered that, and we're like, okay, we're all set, we're all good to go. And then we started weaning, and she just hated weaning. And I was like, oh my goodness, we've got another challenge. So yeah, it's just finding all the expert and information, education, and bringing mums together. I think as well as an expat mum, I had my first little girl in the UK, and you're so familiar with the products that you've seen your mum use or
With
other
everything,
families
it's your-
use.
your vibe is there.
And then you come somewhere new and it's all different things on the market. There is some similarities from home, but it's, finding new products that you rely on.
That you
that
trust as well.
Yeah, so I think bringing some of those familiarities in from the UK or from where expats are from, and making it just a bit of a nicer and smoother and easier journey for new mums. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea
Great. It's
came
an
from.
amazing idea.
Yeah, we're really excited.
So how is balancing motherhood and business? Like, what's one tip that you could probably give out that balancing motherhood and as a working mom, how do you balance that?
The best thing to do is when things get really hard, take your kid to work. Like,
Yes.
that's the best thing you could do. I remember, I have a
But you're lucky you got Playtorium, right? I'm like,
but
okay.
my son is
Just
bored
thinking
now.
how
He's
I'm gonna
done-
entertain.
I took my daughter to work in the office, and after 10 minutes, she's like, okay, what else can I do?
Can we
But
go home?
guys, believe you me,
I'll bring my kids to your office.
he's done with Playtorium.
Really?
Yeah, now when I get him to Playtorium and I have meetings
Yes.
and interviews to take, he'll come to my office like, Mommy? I said, yes, my love. Me no like it here. Let's go.
I want to go to
Me no-
another play area.
Me no like it here. Me no like it here.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you're right. But it honestly, I think all of us, we learn as it goes.
As we go, yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
And then I think we learn in terms of, we wouldn't say that who needs us the most. Of course, we are first there for our kids, but it's all about making sure that we settle them well, get our things sorted, and then come back to them. So
Yeah.
it's always like back and forth, right? Like I go to work, let's say in the beginning, in the first year, I used to go to work 2 to 3 times a day because I had
Yes,
to come
in and
back
out, in
home.
and out.
Yeah.
And I had to come back home, settle him, feed him, and then go back to work, and then come back home, and then settle him, put him for a nap, put him down for a
Oh,
nap.
great. I'm not the only one that did something crazy like that.
I did. And then all the way you were just planning, okay, now I'm going to him. So my mind is all about him, what I need to do for him. And then coming back to work, okay, now I'm going to work. So, I think we can multitask really well, and we
Yeah,
can
for
brain
sure.
shift our
Yes,
thoughts
definitely. Our
really
thoughts,
well.
yes.
You're doing one thing, but you're already thinking about the
Oh,
next
definitely.
thing, which is happening in like an hour's time.
So
Yeah.
I would say that I think it's inbuilt in us, and we're God gifted that we can,
can
actually,
manage
we
it.
can manage, and our thoughts can shift to our babies or our kids and our business back and forth very easily. That's what I
Absolutely.
think we are gifted that way.
Yeah.
Men wouldn't be able to multitask so easily.
No.
They can, but not.
Did you see there's a picture of the female brain and the men brain, right? And the female brain is like dinner and this, work, what are they
Yeah.
going to do for school
Thinking
tomorrow?
about things for
101
next week.
things. And then you've got the men brain, work, home.
Go to work, come home, eat dinner.
I'm not saying that there's no stay-at-home dads because there's so many dads that are quite hands-on,
Yeah.
but it's just the women's brain is definitely a multi.
Yeah,
task
I think we can
orientated
balance
brain.
and we can
balance
take
it out.
2-3
Yeah.
things on in our hands. Our hands are full, and we like it that
Constantly,
way.
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's always for mums as well. You always sort of have that guilt as well, though, that you.
Guilt is always going to be there.
Yeah.
And I've got my mom here from Australia and I'm 40 years old and I'm telling you, like, it's just never going to end.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The mum guilt never ends, I think.
I think even when you think you've got a good routine going and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, we're all sorted,
So
we
true.
know what the routine is, everyone's going to nursery or school, and then, you know, we know what we do in the evening, you still, when the kids go to bed, you're still like,
Yeah.
oh, did we spend enough
I
time
didn't
together
spend enough
today?
time.
Or
That's
that
the
I
killer
didn't,
thing, is
I didn't
spending
switch
enough
off from
time.
work.
Yeah.
And I was still thinking about work and while I was doing dinner, bath, bed, sort of. Yeah, so I think, be kind to yourself as well.
Yeah.
because
Definitely. That's
if you're not kind to yourself, then children pick up on all these little things. So I think you just want to kind of be a nice calming influence and make sure that the time that you do have after work is special and you are doing things with them that you all enjoy.
Absolutely.
That's when you're creating
Like
memories.
scheduling the time, you know,
Yeah.
like scheduling, okay, this is work now. And then when it's family time, like try to,
Yeah.
okay, work is
Try
work,
to-
but
Yeah,
try
take a
to,
step
try
back
to, okay, because sometimes I'm playing with them, but I'm thinking about
Yeah, or
the
you're
email,
replying to
this,
an
this,
email,
that.
or
And so
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
consciously
just 2
there.
minutes. I just
you
need to
know,
reply to
whereas-
one thing, or
And kids, like you said, they pick up on everything
Yeah,
and
they
they
do.
feel that.
Yeah.
They feel that.
quite often my little girl now, she'll, if I'm replying to something on my phone or if I've just got to do something quickly, then she'll be like, it's okay, mummy, I've got to do my work too.
Yeah,
And she goes,
that's
gets
so cute.
pens
They
and
get
paper
their-
out, and she'll, I'll just sit next to you and do my work too.
That's so
That's adorable, yes.
I read somewhere that kids don't need kids need a happy mom. They
Yeah,
don't
need
as in
that.
they can't process what a
Nothing.
hardworking mom is
No.
now for now,
Absolutely.
but they need a happy mom. So no matter whatever you go through at work, but when you come back home, you
Try
gotta
to
be
shift it
all
off.
that joker and the dancing mommy. Like when I go to school to pick up my son, and there are 10,000 things going on in the back, right? And I always sit down and I always open my arms and I always hug him, right? And I wait for the door to open and I'm dancing when the door is opening. So all the kids in his class come running to me and they all hug me. So they all have that, oh, the hugging mom is here.
The dancing, hugging
Yeah,
mom is
the
here.
dancing hugging mom is here. So even though a lot is going on in the back, and only we know that, right?
Yeah,
We know what's going on at work.
Absolutely.
But coming to them, seeing them, my son is sleep trained. I really struggle with his sleeps. Yeah, he's sleep trained. But till now, if I don't get to see him as much as I would expect to see him, I go sneak in his room. I pick him up, I bring him to my bed, I hug him and I kiss him everywhere. Then I put him back.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, that's something.
It's your little tactics, you know, that he
Yeah.
feels that. And they say, you know, when the baby's sleeping, to actually talk to them, they actually
Yeah, pick
they
up
get- they
on
pick up on
things.
it,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
They're talking, they're
As you
hugging.
mentioned, the mom guilt is always there,
Yeah.
and doing that makes me feel a little better. Okay,
Yeah.
I saw his face sleeping, and he was calm, and he was okay. He's peaceful. So,
Yeah, he's gone to bed happy.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I always just at the end of the night, I'm like, are you happy tonight? Did you have a good day? And yeah, just to hear that, yes,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, that's
My
all
job is
you-
my
yeah,
job is
that's
done.
all
My
you
second
need to
job is
know,
done.
yeah.
Tick that one off.
as
Or
far
it'll be
as
like,
I'm
what am I wearing tomorrow? And I'm like, okay, I forgot to leave your outfit out. It's okay, we'll pick it together in the morning.
Tomorrow is a new day.
yeah.
So what would you say? Well, I mean, we've touched some challenges already, but what would be one main challenge that we find as a working mom? Like challenges and some triumphs that we find as well.
I think sometimes just trying to juggle everything as much as I totally agree with what you said. I think as mums, we love that challenge of, juggling everything, managing everything, making sure everything's perfect and everyone's okay. But yeah, sometimes it's just like,
It's a bit
oh my,
chaotic.
yeah, oh my goodness, where do I start?
Yeah.
How am I going to get to the end of today? And yeah, and I think that's just maybe sometimes the biggest thing is just
Me time as well is very
Yeah,
crucial. I think,
exactly.
and something that I strongly believe in is that we are energy, you know, and we, us moms, we give so much energy.
Yeah.
And what I
Yeah.
find and see with a lot of moms is that we don't give that energy back to us, you know. So whether it's like a 10 or 15-minute time for us can, you know, impact a lot on our families.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how can you fill from an empty cup? Yeah, your cup needs to be full so that you can fill up others.
We can fill up
your
other,
family,
yes.
right? So you
Absolutely.
need to make sure your cup is full so that you can fill other cups as well. And I always like when my son goes to sleep at 7 p.m., I make sure that even if I have to head down to take my dog for a walk or take a run around the park, that Dubai Hills Park that we have, I do that. And I don't do that for I think I do that for him. I don't do it for myself. So that I come back energized. I come back by knowing that I did something for myself, and I'm not just giving, I'm also giving to myself.
Giving to yourself. It's
exactly.
very
That's so
important.
important, right? Because if you're going to keep giving, if you're just going to water other plants, who's going to water yourself?
Yes.
There's no energy
Right.
left.
Yeah,
No
and
energy.
that's going to reflect on your personality or on your day-to-day activities with your kids, and that's not good. Because in the end, kids want to see a happy mom. They really, in simple words, they really don't understand and care what hardships we are going through at work for now. Maybe
But
when
they don't, yeah, like a 4-year-old, they don't understand
Yeah,
any of that.
yeah.
Even 10-year-old, even 15-year-old.
Right.
I probably didn't
Yeah.
understand that till I was.
I don't think I
I,
understood
even
until I was
now,
a
even
mom.
now, I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
and my mom always used to say that when you'll become a
Yeah,
mom, you'll
yes.
know all of
Oh,
that.
that quote has haunted me now. Because
Yeah.
I'm living with both my mom and my dad. Oh, wait till you have your kids. Wait till you. Now I've got 2 girls. I'm like, oh, dear God, help me.
Mom, you'll understand. And I'm like, okay, yeah, mom, I
Now
fully
I
understand.
get it. I
I'm
totally
sorry.
get it.
Oh God, yeah.
Please forgive me. Now help me. Absolutely. So, how do you integrate your work and family life to create balance? And are there any specific routines and rituals that help you maintain a healthy work-life integration?
As I mentioned, it's very important to balance out work, life, and yourself. So they're
Absolutely.
like
The
three
3
aspects to
pillars,
it.
I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To keep going and to have every day to help you sustain yourself in your best every day. And I think I think it comes like this: you settle your child, you get your work sorted, and then you sort out yourself in terms of making sure that you are you do something for yourself, even if it involves just getting a blow dry done. Go down, get a blow dry done, come up.
Feel
Really
good.
fresh
Yeah, you
hair
feel
feels
good.
good.
You feel good.
Really
yeah.
fresh hair feels
And
good.
I'm just gonna say that going and getting the groceries, that's not
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not your time, okay? Because I've heard
Exactly. It's not your time. And then, yeah, it's very important to make sure, as much as it's important to balance your work life and your child and your children, it's also important to balance out what you are feeling or what you go through every day.
Of course, yes.
And that has to be with, and there should be some time off your work and your children and your with your family or without your
Yeah.
family, but there has to be some time off to reflect on yourself and how was your day. And because in the end you are doing all this for yourself and your family, right?
Yeah.
So to be the best version of yourself, I think balancing these 3 aspects of your life brings out the best in you. And I've learned it really because of this Playtorium, and because of my son. I've learned this. Okay, how important is me, myself, to my family and my business to an extent as well. So yeah, I think it involves balancing these 3 factors really well, and then I think you can bring out the best in your family and yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Ashley, do you have any like secrets or rituals or routines that you kind of follow to balance that out?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, I think it's finding something that you really enjoy as well and just making sure that you schedule that into your life. For me, it's going to the gym. So every morning, usually I'll drop my children at nursery, I'll be in my gym stuff and I'll go straight to the gym. And so now my little girl's like, Mommy, why do people go to the gym? Do you like the gym? So and for me, I'm like, do you know what? That's actually starting to instill in her, like, it's good to be healthy. And I'll say to her, because I want to be healthy, I want to be strong so that I can look after you and that I'm always here for you. And she's like, that's really good, mommy. Keep going to the gym. And I'm like, that's already like instilling in her that, I'm doing this because I want to be here for you always. I want to be fit. I want to be strong. So I think just finding something, it might not be the gym, but as you say, just getting your nails done or getting your hair done or going for a coffee with a friend or
something.
just
Anything.
having like a date night with your husband or going out with friends. It's just finding that time to invest in yourself because you're so important as well. And without you, the family life doesn't happen. So it's just making sure that you've really got that time for you and what's important for you as well. And then through that, you then bring out the best in your family and the best in your children.
I like how you mentioned that. I feel that, and this is what I learned. So I launched Active Mama Workout. I've been in the fitness field for over 10, 15 years, but as soon as I became a mom, I obviously didn't have the time to go to the gym.
Yes.
And I found that was a huge struggle for a lot of, especially working moms or even stay-at-home moms.
Yep.
So I launched Active Mama Workout, and these are 30-minute workouts that you can do from home. So strength training, mobility, and core work. And I launched that when my first daughter was 9 months. And I would just roll out the mat. Actually, Corona happened in that time as well. So I was forced to work out at home. And 9 months, now she's 4 years. Now she knows, everything. She knows about training. And I'm just like, this is, like a role model. Like they just pick up on every little thing. Now my 14-month-old, same thing. She knows that's exercise. She knows that I'm going to work out. If I do a wall sit, she knows what that is. Like, and I'm just like blown away at how much that impacts. They pick up on everything. If I'm sitting on the phone, what does she want to go grab?
Absolutely.
So we are like we do realize that they're just watching every little move that we do.
Yeah, 100%. Even, for instance, my little girl, she's 2 and so observant on everything. And if I'm home and doing dinner and then my husband comes home afterwards, then he'll usually say, well, I'll do bath, and he gets to spend a bit of time with them both. And if he like takes out his phone to respond to an email, she'll be like, no, daddy, this is bath time, not work time. And I'll always hear him say, sorry, you're right. Yeah, this is bath time.
And we need to be aware of that.
You will wait for 20 minutes. It can wait,
They'll sleep and then you can, finish your emails. But that time with them is the crucial part, I think.
Yeah.
It's like how you mentioned that your girls are very much aware of all the exercises and all that you do. There's a very cute saying, monkeys do monkey, right?
Monkey see, monkey do. And I noticed that when she was 9 months old. And I remember I did a wall sit and she was 9 months and she copied me. And I said, oh my goodness, she really, this. I thought, she's not getting it. She's only 9 months. She's just crawling around. But they get it. They see it, and now she's 4 years. So she's seen this journey of mine with my product of what I do. And she just gets it. So now they know that that's mummy's time. If mummy's going to go and work out, she's got to do that,
They
know it. They know it. It's not like, why are you going and leaving me? There are times where I take her with me. If I have to go up to the gym, I'll take her with me. But there are times where I want to go alone. And that's okay,
Instilling though that that they can see good qualities in them as well. They can see that mommy enjoys that. Mommy needs that.
Needs that.
So, but then what do I like to do? What's important? It starts to it gets their minds thinking.
Absolutely.
Setting
good traits.
Exactly.
Good traits. I wish I did that when I was younger. Later in life, I discovered that obviously working out, that we need not just for the physical aspect, but more for the mental aspect
as well. But also, I think as well, just to be strong to be a mum as well. Like you're carrying your feet. Yeah, exactly.
Packing the stroller, and now when I
carrying all the bags,
with the scooter, the stroller, and then this, and I'm like, why am I carrying the scooter? Right? No, I don't want to ride the scooter now, and I'm just carrying on.
After 5 minutes, they're like, no, that's me.
That's enough. Yes, and I'm just like, all right, put everything on the stroller and let's go. But
and
I
on your
think of that,
back.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, because that takes a toll on your back, that takes a toll on your joints, on your shoulder.
Out, and then you carry them, and you're like, wow, they feel lighter.
Yeah.
But you don't feel so like, you know, you feel
Wow.
stronger.
Exactly. And you know, like I remember we went for a trip to Oman, and there was a hill that you had to climb up, and then this boy all of a sudden said, "Mommy, pick up, pick up, pick up," and you wouldn't believe it was so easy to take him down, up and down the hill, and I was like, "Wow, the mommy's been working out."
You
know?
see, you see?
Like, really?
Hey, enough. So let's talk a little bit about a support system. So how important it is of having a support system, both personally and professionally, and how do you connect with other mompreneurs for support in collaboration?
Yeah, I think you're always learning as a mum. We've spoke about that. No 2 days are ever the same. And even when you think you've got one phase sorted and you're like, we've mastered this, we're on a roll, then another challenge comes. They maybe go through a sleep regression or a regression period, or they're off their food. Yeah, there's so many, or they're going through a kind of growth learning spurt. So yeah, I think it's always connecting with other mums, because there's so much knowledge and expertise that you can pick up just from speaking to other mums. You know, they might have tried something with sleep that's worked for them, or teething. My little boy just now is teething, and I'm like, my goodness, I thought.
And what you go through with one child, you don't go through the same with the other child.
So I think
noticed
it's really
with my girls.
connecting, whether it be on a social, or whether it be through work, and speaking to other mums as well, and how they manage things, what they do what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Because yeah, every day you're learning, and so it's just really embracing that and using the support network that you have, whether that be on a social or whether it be on
friends, family, I think the important thing is to don't be afraid to reach out, don't
100%,
to ask the questions. The more questions you ask, the more you're going to learn and know. And
never a silly
because sometimes you
question.
can feel alone. I know for me with my first one, I didn't know how to stop breastfeeding. And I'm like, oh, is this someone that where can I started Googling how to stop breastfeeding, because I just didn't know how to do it. And then I started chatting with another mom, and she gave me some tips because she went through the same thing. And I'm like, that's something that I felt was kind of missing, is like, now there's a lot of different communities out there.
Yeah.
But just reach out and ask some of these questions that you might have, not to feel that you're alone, because 100% there's someone else going through probably the same thing that you're going through.
1,000,000%. And nothing's ever a silly question.
Absolutely. Nothing is ever a silly question, right?
I think as well, when you're an expat and away from your close family and friends, and for instance, your parents, or when I had my first little girl, we were just around the corner from my mom and dad, and they were always there, and that was such an amazing support network. And now with my little boy, we didn't have that. So it's really like finding a new community, finding a new support network, and just always reaching out. And don't be lonely, because once you start feeling lonely, or once you feel like, oh, I shouldn't ask that question, then you just end up getting yourself down a rabbit hole.
Psychologically, yes, I'm not doing a good job, I don't know these things and all this stuff.
You
And
second guess yourself, but just try and, whether it be from speaking to other mums at work or just friends, family, just always reaching out to someone and just bouncing off another mum.
And I think collaboration is it had the whole essence of collaboration is so nice in terms of helping each other. For example, now we as a Playtorium provide a platform for babies and toddlers and experts to come in and speak and help mummies and toddlers and babies do what they're struggling with. For example, parenting tips and sleep consultancy, and then weaning and things. We have speakers coming in, we have those experts coming in, and then we have moms have coffee meetups to come gather and support each other, advise each other. So I think collaborating on such platforms is very important.
Very important, just to get on a few communities.
Exactly.
Maybe monthly you catch up for a coffee coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then letting them know how they can navigate this whole stage of, toddler or babies. And I think collaboration does play a huge role in forming a strong community, forming a strong moms
Absolutely.
community, helping each other. So it does matter having collaborations with different brands and different mom speakers and moms who have, some moms are licensed in terms of sleep consultancy and baby feeding, potty training, for example. Like, I was so close to not getting my son to school because he was not potty trained as yet, and he was starting in August, and he till June he was not potty trained. And one day I was like, you know what, Pampers off. I threw all the Pampers in my house,
And that's it. That's how he learned.
and like, that's how you do it. And then, yeah, and then when his first proper poop, because he was constipated, that's what happens when you potty train them, right? I was in tears,
Oh
crying
no.
near the potty seat.
Start ordering new Pampers to come.
I'm like, thank you. He's like, Mommy, what happened? I'm like, thank you so much. So, having someone who can potty train as well. We've had these lessons, we've had these classes, these collaborations with moms who potty train. So I think having such community really helps for an expat, or if you're a first time mom, or if you're a mom of a second child with different, altogether different scenes and different stages. So yeah, I think it's really important to have a strong community.
Yeah, and I think as an expat, communities are so important. And that's one of the things when I moved back over and had my second little boy and realised that I wasn't just around the corner from my mum and dad. Or I didn't have,
yes.
my family really close by. That was one of the things that started my brain ticking for the Baby Expo, is how do we bring all these communities together? How do we bring them under one roof so that people can come and they can pick up experts, details to contact them, reach out to them whenever they need them, just making it as easy for mums as possible, because we all know it's a hard journey, and some days are great, some days are really, really difficult. So how do we really make mums' lives as easy as possible? Mums, dads, families' lives as easy as possible. So yeah.
And I think, just reach out to, there's so many different communities out there now. So just number one, just reach out and just make it a bit of like a habit to go maybe once a month and meet up with these, mommy groups. And don't think that there's a silly question out there, because I'm sure we've all been through something. So in what ways do you believe your entrepreneurial journey has positively impacted your children? And how do you involve your children in your business or teach them about entrepreneurship? Well, our kids are a little bit young. They're about 4 years old, right? But I'm sure that they know.
Everyone who's not wearing socks to enter.
Oh, great. So that's perfect. Yes.
Mommy, no socks. I said, where are your socks, mister? First of all, Mommy, no socks. And then before we head out, and then he's always got this question, Mommy, did you put my socks in the bag?
My socks in the bag.
Yeah, I got 2 Playtorium socks in the bag. So yeah, I think our children will learn how to, in future, but now also they'll learn how to take leadership, or how to experiment with things, and how to how do I say, like, my son doesn't know that Playtorium is his mom's. He thinks, or his mom is the founder of Playtorium, he thinks his mom works at Playtorium. So he has to make sure that wherever his mom is working, that place has to be the way his mom wants, like no socks, no outside food, these basic he knows. And sometimes he's even standing at the party registration, and he's like, he'll give away the wristbands. So yeah, I think
you get him involved with these little tasks. And I think with kids, it's amazing to give them tasks,
And I think his first on-job training is going to be I told my manager the other day, I was like, you know what, he's going to be your first trainee here. So he's going to be doing his internship here. So you better train him well. No problem. Don't worry at all. So yeah, he calls the manager Sir Peep. So he's got he's got that in him. So I think we are doing something good. I think
that's very important. And that's something that sometimes, I know me in the beginning, I was like, oh, no, I'm going to go teach my class, just take care of her for 30 minutes. And then I said, you know what? Let me just get her involved. Yeah. Let me just get it. And then she was involved with me. And now she doesn't even, it's like, get them involved for a few minutes and then they're over it.
Yeah.
So the curiosity is out instead of saying, no, what's mommy doing? Why can't I? They become a bit, rebellious, or the tantrum will come, or... and that's what I found. So now, like before, I would close the door and not have the girls inside. But now, doors open. They know mommy's teaching her class, or mommy's working there. So yeah, they don't bother. But I think getting them involved is very as hard as it can be in the beginning,
Yeah.
maybe, but in time,
In a way,
it definitely
yeah.
gets easier. And
I think as well, they're always, although our children are all young and maybe don't understand fully what we're doing
Yeah.
or, what a working day involves maybe, but I think they're picking up on so much more than you would
Than
think
we
they
think.
are.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Like even just sitting with my laptop, as I said before, my little girl will come up and she'll be like, "It's okay, mommy, I'm just going to sit and do my work as well." So she understands that
work is
yeah. I think for me, this is a new journey for me, being part of a new launched event. And I just really, after being on maternity leave, wanted to find something where I could still be a mom, still be around, to pick my kids up from nursery if I needed to do that, or be in the house to give them dinner. I came from a corporate background where it was long hours and you don't really get a lot of time at home with your children. So I just really wanted to be a kind of role model for them to let them see that, you can still have family life and enjoy family life,
yes.
but still do something successful and make them proud as well. And I think that's so important to let them see that you can juggle
You can
everything.
do it, yeah. And plus, find something that gives you that flexibility
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
I think that's
Exactly.
quite important, because then again, you don't have that mum guilt.
Yeah,
The mum guilt
yeah,
doesn't kick in
yeah.
because you were able to pick up your child from the nursery.
Of course, there's days there are manic
I'm
weeks
sure
that are
before
manic.
the expo comes up,
It'll be really
might not
busy.
see you for a week, but
then on the other side of that, there might
once
be a
it's
week that's
done,
quite quieter,
exactly.
and I
Okay,
can
yeah.
dedicate that full week. So there's always going to be
there's
peaks
always
and
ups and
troughs.
downs. Any tips for aspiring mums? What advice would you have for mothers who are considering starting their own business? Are there any lessons that you've learned that you wish you knew when you first started?
Just take a leap. Just take a leap of faith. You'll fall, but then if you fall down, that's a part of life. But if you stand up, that's called living.
Absolutely.
So even if you start small, trust me, even if you start small, that's all right, but if you are passionate about it,
If you love it, if
exactly.
it drives you.
Yeah, like when I got a lot of this when I used to talk about Playtorium to people who didn't know what Playtorium is. They're like, "You're so passionate."
Yes,
about it.
absolutely.
Even before Playtorium opened, take a leap of faith, but make sure you are passionate about it. Then only take. If you are not passionate about it and you're just thinking about doing it, then don't.
Or wait till you're ready for it.
Hold
Yes.
on. But if you're passionate about it, take a leap of faith. You fall down, that's okay. It's part of life. But if you start coming up or if you come out of it, that's called living. And trust me, you might fail it with 5 to 10 businesses, but one of them 100% will click.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the one you're passionate about.
Absolutely.
So just
I
don't
think
wait.
when you're passionate about something, you put in those extra hours, right?
Yeah, and then you
Because if you
actually
weren't so
study
passionate about
it.
something,
Yes, but if you're not, you'll be like, "Oh, I'm planning to open this." But when
Yeah.
you're passionate about something, you'll talk about it. Like you feel you want to talk about it for hours and hours and hours. And one more thing, sit with people who will listen to you, who will listen to your ideas, who will. They don't have to support you, no, but they don't have to be like, yeah, just no. If you are passionate about it, sit with people who will just listen to it. And that's it. You're there. You're halfway journey. It's done already.
Bouncing your ideas off other people. I remember speaking to my husband about this, and I was like, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but I've got this idea." And we went for a walk, and then every kind of night that we went for a walk, I just kept kind of throwing more ideas at him. And I think he could tell that I was obviously really passionate about it and really excited, and I was constantly
talking about it.
Even when I was at home with my little boy, my mind was still kind of going,
racing.
because I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? My little boy's getting older. I want to provide the best for them. I want them to have a really nice life. So what can I do now, and how can I make myself happy as well? You know, because being at home all day can be hard too.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
challenging.
job, and that's very challenging. It's got its own challenges
Yeah.
itself. So hands down to all those mummies at home, because that definitely is. I sometimes think it's even harder than actually going out for work.
Yeah, you're right.
To be honest, I really, because sometimes I'm at home and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you question
Where we go to
everything.
work and we can sit down and have a cup of coffee without getting
Or you
interrupted.
can eat your lunch hot.
So yes, it's definitely challenging for that.
Absolutely.
Like you were mentioning about breastfeeding and you breastfed for quite long. Honestly, breastfeeding itself is such a lonely journey.
That's another work as well.
It's such a lonely journey. You're sitting in a room pumping or feeding and you're just alone by yourself and you're like, okay, fine, now I can get out of the room. But you're right, staying at home itself is, it's like you lose
full-time
the human
job.
contact and you don't know how are you going to behave socially anymore.
Yeah, and I think that it's not recognized so much, you know. And it has to get so much more credited.
Definitely.
I think as well, from when you do have a baby, and if you are a working mum and you stop to go on maternity leave and you're obviously in the house and you're being a mum and you're doing a great job and looking after your children and running a house at the same time and doing everything that you need to do as a mum, but you kind of lose a bit of your confidence.
You lose yourself.
Yeah, you lose yourself. You lose your confidence in a work environment.
So true.
And I think it's, just believe in yourself, because sometimes taking that leap from being off on maternity leave to going back to, whether it's going back to the same job or finding a new job or starting a new venture, it's just believe in yourself, like dig deep. It's a bit of a challenge to push yourself to go out there again, but just, if you're, as you said before, if you're really passionate about it, then just really believe in yourself and just take that leap, because if you're passionate, it's always gonna work.
It's a process, and in the beginning, of course, it's gonna be hard and it's gonna be challenging, but eventually, as the days go by, it's like working out. They always say the first 21 days you're gonna hate me. And oh my god, my legs are hurting, this is hurting. But after that, I've got women that have been training with me for years, and you see how how it becomes not easier, but you become stronger, more confident.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's going to help. It becomes a way of life. Absolutely. And yes, working and if you're starting out your own business in general, it's a task. And having to think about kids at home as well, that's another task. So I think, like you said, really find something that you're passionate about. Talk to people about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take that step. If you have that, when you talk to someone, you feel yourself getting really excited. Like I do when I talk about working out at home or sticking to a workout program, then go ahead and do it. What have you got to lose, right?
I think as well as a mum,
and everything to gain.
Even when you think you don't have any more hours in the day,
you find
those hours. Yeah, absolutely.
Just switch off Netflix. And put those, thoughts into plan. Plan into action.
Yeah, I read somewhere that if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not.
Then they're not dreams.
Exactly. They should scare you. They should bring
give you butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah, true.
That's the way I see it. I actually I was in the corporate field for 10 years.
Wow.
And from corporate field, then I found my passion. But prior to that, if you ask me, Myra, what is your passion? I would have turned around and said to you, I don't know. I don't know what my passion is. But then I found my passion, and that was Zumba was launched in Australia. And I was like, oh my God, I found this class and I love it. I love dancing, music, fitness. And I said to my mom, I'm leaving the bank. I'm going to become a Zumba instructor. And she's like, how can you do that? But back then I didn't have kids, not married. So it was a lot easier to take that leap,
Definitely.
that responsibility. But thankfully I found my passion, and here we are in Dubai talking about, taking the leap of faith, because eventually it's inevitable. If you put the hours, the love, it grows.
Yeah, absolutely.
It grows. So on to the next question. So how do you stay adaptable in the face of challenges or unexpected change? Share a time when you had a pivot in your business, and how did you navigate that transition?
I think you evolve. You evolve in terms of anything that changes around you, you evolve with it. If, for example, if today I know there is a gap of having kids over 7 years of age in Playtorium. So you evolve. What we're doing is we're converting an area to something that is only suitable for 7+, so that we can fill up that gap from 7 to 10 at least. So you need to adapt to changes. Let's say Dubai changes every month, every day, every week. I must say,
change happening, and I always say embrace change.
Yeah, exactly. You evolve and you embrace change, and
change is good.
Change is good. Change is growth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if you want to keep growing, you have to keep evolving. For example, I don't think that Playtorium is going to stay as it is. It looks like it's going to stay like this for the next 5 years. No, it might just change its whole shape. Like it might just change the whole everything, all the activities. We need to keep revamping and upgrading in order to be with the change, in order to have people come in, and people wouldn't want to come to the same place
No,
every
yeah.
day. They would want to, kids especially, kids get bored really fast. They
Beyond
want to
5 minutes.
that's it, mommy, let's go home. So
I don't like
yeah.
this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Same here
Well, we're going to
yesterday.
stay here. I'm going to finish my coffee and we're not going home yet.
So I think you just have to evolve, adapt, change, and as you mentioned earlier, that collaborate. Because
Collaboration is the
when you
key,
collaborate, you
yeah.
learn. You get to know how you can do things better.
Better, absolutely.
You get to know, oh wow, since we collaborated, I see a change, a shift in my, for example, people, customers. These customers coming in too now. We never used to be there before. So Dubai is all about collaborations and adapting to change and evolving. And these are the three factors that will keep coming, making you grow.
I think as well, adapting and then reflecting on it as well,
Yeah.
because without that self-reflection, to see how far you've come if you've had a really difficult week. I think for me is kind of just starting out, going back after maternity leave. Yeah, it's such a massive change. Even my little girl who was at nursery while I was on maternity leave, I was always there, I was always around, and that's an adaptation for her.
Yeah.
It's an adaptation for everyone. Me going back to work. So I think it's, if you've had a really difficult week, reflect at the end of that week, see what happened, what was good, what was
Not
bad,
good,
what you can maybe change. I think always just having that little time and space for a bit of self-reflection, because then you can really start to grow and you can really start to see how you can progress or
Pick some goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like seeing change instead of seeing it as a negative thing, just aim to try to see it as a positive
Yeah,
thing.
definitely.
Because with every positive outcomes can, really come about.
Optimism.
Yeah, that's the word.
Because change is uncomfortable, though. Like
Change is horrible. And one change that I must say that I faced was I was someone that would never, and you're probably going to laugh when I say this, I would never work out from home, ever. I was always in the gym. Probably I'm like, no, I need to go to the gym. So as soon as I became a mom, what happened? I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to drive. I don't have the time. So for a while, I was like, I'm not working out. I wasn't happy because I wasn't doing what I'm used to doing. And I have a baby that I need to care. So it was all these emotions and thinking.
And then it builds up.
And it builds up. And I was becoming, and then COVID happened. So it forced me to work out at home. And then I started working out at home and I started seeing amazing results. And I'm like, you know what? I save my time. I get my kids involved. I'm happier. And, so instead of thinking of excuses, embrace the change, see it as a positive thing and see what you can get out of it.
Yep.
Change is sometimes scary.
It's very scary. It's extremely scary.
Unknown that you didn't know you needed. Yeah, absolutely.
So, in what ways has being a mompreneur contributed to your personal growth? How do you continue to invest in your own professional development?
I think for me, it's just given me a lot more confidence, especially after, becoming a mum, you maybe lose some of your self-confidence. I think it's given me more confidence. It's also really made me, I think, more ambitious and more driven to be a
better mom,
a really good mom,
wife,
a really good role model for my children.
Kids are the biggest motivators. I think, in my opinion, I think kids are the biggest motivators, especially as a mompreneur. They're the ones.
You do it
They're the
them.
driving force behind every little thing that we do. Like those days that we're completely tired and that we just want to do absolutely nothing, whether we've been with the kids all day or been in the office all day, they're the ones that drive us to get up the next day and boom, put on that working hat on and we go get things done.
Yeah. Even if you've had a bad day and you see their faces, you get a cuddle from them.
Yes.
It feels okay again.
Everything,
And you're ready to start the next day afresh and keep going again. So I think, it's definitely just kind of made me more confident, more ambitious and driven to really be successful for them and for them to see that and for them to be proud of me.
Is there anything in particular that you're doing for your professional development? Like, is there any courses that you do or you...
Yeah, I think before I done this actually at the end of both my maternity leaves, I just started to kind of do courses, online courses. what my kind of professionalism
Yeah.
was, just to get me
Refresher.
because things change.
Because taking time off work, because
Yeah.
I also do digital marketing. So digital marketing obviously is constantly evolving.
Yeah,
So whatever field that you're in, maybe do some small online courses.
That's-
To refresh the brain, wake your brain
Yeah,
up a little bit, right?
exactly,
Because
yeah.
after being on maternity, I found it with myself as
New
well.
trends,
You become
things,
stale.
yeah, you absolutely do. You don't know how to speak to people without speaking to
Not in a
babies.
bad way. I don't want to scare any mums to
Yeah.
bees as well, you know,
I
like.
remember going back after my little girl and I had an interview, and honestly I was like, I don't even know how to, and it was COVID as well, so we'd been in lockdown. I'd been in the
Yeah,
house with
after
a
COVID is a
baby
whole
for
different thing.
for like 6 months of her life was in lockdown. I came to the interview and I was like to my husband, I genuinely don't know how to speak to
Yeah.
adults. Like, I
So
don't
true.
know adult communication, because you're so used to like
And-
speaking to your baby, communicating with your baby.
The whole
And
And
yeah,
you're not
social
alone
aspect.
going into a meeting
Yeah,
or something with a
yeah.
client, or you
It's
know,
such a
that's
good
even
idea,
more.
yeah.
and you've got that brain fog as
Yeah,
well, like
yeah.
mum brain,
Forget
like baby
everything.
brain.
Absolutely.
No, I think especially for me, it has made me more of a go-getter kind of person. Like,
Yeah.
like I want to go get things done. Okay, if I'm in the middle of crisis at work, I know I have to get it done. Like I know I can get it done. As you mentioned, it makes you more confident, because it makes you realize if you can do this, then you can tackle everything.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
can,
That motherhood, I don't know, it makes you feel like you have some superpowers,
Yeah,
right?
we do.
I mean, yeah, we
We
definitely do.
And if you can handle that tiny human who can rock your life, you can
Rock
handle
your
anything,
world.
any storm that comes your way, right? So yeah, it has definitely. And I think professionally, like for example, we were just starting out. We didn't have that big budget to have a social media person or someone to take TikTok and reels and things like that has come up. So I decided to take that online course by myself, and
Right.
I go to work every day. I might do some
Learn it a
TikTok
little
and reels,
bit.
and I have a tiny human who can model as well.
Amazing.
So yeah, get in the pictures, and then
Perfect.
now you'll see his pictures everywhere on online platforms for Playtorium. So yeah, that's what I think it made me to learn more,
Yeah.
and so my brain keeps being busy.
That actually brings me to my next question. So, what tech and tools? Are there any specific technologies or tools that have been instrumented in managing your business and family life? How do you leverage technology to streamline your workflow? So, you said that you studied and you went and did some,
Yes, and I think now social media is such a powerful
I
tool.
think for a business,
Yeah.
all
Any
businesses
business,
need
yeah.
it. All
Yeah.
businesses, we need it. It's like your portfolio. Gone are the days that people check websites, right?
Digital
Yes.
marketing as well.
Digital
yeah.
marketing.
Digital
It's-
marketing.
Yes, we need it.
I think your message is conveyed more 1,000 miles than having people do word of mouth for you. Like
Yeah,
Playtorium is
flyers are gone now. It's
flyers
social
are out.
media. Yeah.
Like for example, Playtorium is right in the middle of 6 to 7 communities around us, and we thrive on word of mouth. And there are lots of schools around us. But the type of reach that social media, Instagram boosting, Google ads, or Facebook gives you, it goes outside that communities to Palm, to Bersha to Dubai,
other areas,
which we
other
never thought that
demographic.
the moms are gonna come down from there. So I think learning how, and I didn't know how to use social media.
But the thing with social media and what I'm finding also as a digital marketer is that it's very consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very consuming.
Yeah.
And this is something that can
You
you
get
know,
down a rabbit
negatively
hole.
Yeah.
impact you when it's your family time. So I think this takes us back right to the beginning of our conversation is
Yeah.
scheduling that time accordingly, right? And I think there's so many tools now also on social media that you can pre-plan and not have to think
Yeah.
about it constantly all the time to give you that time with your...
Equally, there's so many new tools coming that you then get bogged down in wanting to learn how to do that, or take things to the next level. You're never really, when you're like have your own kind of business or starting out for something, you're never happy with, you always want to push to the next level. You always want to make things that bit better. So it's always, it's kind of that juggling that, okay, this is done, I'm happy with this too, but could that be better? Should I just do that again? Or should I
We always second question
Yeah,
ourselves
exactly,
and our
yeah.
skills.
or there's gonna be another app out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Threads
exactly.
is out, X is out. Yeah, it's gonna be another app, and you don't know what can get you viral. Yeah, which is kind of, I don't know, just kind of scary. Like I don't know what can get you viral, and what are the type of information people are consuming, and that gets them viral. But I know that even if you're just swiping, getting on feed
Feeds.
your customer. That's what matters. So you just have to boost it correctly. But these are the things that you learn and then you try to incorporate in your business to see results. Sometimes you see results, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, or if you're starting out, it can get overwhelming having all these platforms. Think of one and just focus on that one platform. You know, focus if you're good at just with static posts, just focus on Instagram and slowly build that community there. Don't think, oh my god, I don't know how to dance. I'm not gonna do TikTok because then you do nothing. You end up saying, no, it's too hard. I don't want to do anything. Focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Do it good for 6 months. See your analytics, see, and then slowly progress that way. I think that's the best way to get started.
Maybe reuse the product that you use or the videos that you use for Instagram. Reuse the same for
reuse it for
TikTok
other
and
things.
Business Month, and
Yes.
then reuse that material.
Content.
That's it all about.
Content is the key thing now with businesses, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We took so much valuable information for us, busy moms that are out in the workforce or even stay-at-home moms as well. Any tips that you guys want to give? One last tip before we end the show for today? For anyone starting out their business?
Just go get it.
Go get it.
Believe in yourself.
Big dive. Believe in yourself.
Be passionate about it.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us with the Myko Kid podcast. We look forward to seeing you on the next Myko Kids podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.